But overall, I mean, the X90 looks like a really cool bike. I'm actually pretty impressed with it so far. I love the green paint and everything on here, and just the quirky, cool design is really interesting so far. But what do you say we get this thing out on the road and see how it does in the real world, and even a little bit of off-road testing? All right, let's get out of here. All right, guys, so out here on the Jansno X90, this is a really cool little e-bike, man. Just my first impressions, I've only gone like half a mile on this thing. You hear the NFC cards kind of rattling around. If I was gonna have this bike as my daily, I would take those off, obviously, and use them more as a key, but I just brought them with me on my test ride. This thing actually feels pretty peppy going uphill as well. This is a kind of just a long sort of slope right here, but it gets up it just fine. We can go over 20 miles an hour up this. You know, someone pointed out in the comments that there are a lot of those kind of pedestrian bridges that kind of are at a really low, like a pretty shallow angle, and a lot of bikes might start to kind of peter out once you're going up those, but this bike handles it just fine. All right, so let's take this thing a little bit off-road here, and also, man, this is gonna be rough. Okay, yeah, it handles it just fine. We'll go up here on this off-road stuff, and oh boy, that is a lot of rocks. Trying not to die. This is how I have to get to this off-road trail right here. Oh boy, lots of rocks. And this thing is pretty peppy off-road. I'm surprised. This is a nice peppy little bike, man. I'm really liking this thing. That front fender's kind of rattling around there because there's no other supports on it. It's just a single support on there, so the fender's kind of rattling around a little bit. But man, this thing is a ton of fun so far. I'm really happy with this. So at higher speeds, it feels relatively stable. It is a little bit more twitchy if you upset it. But these brakes on here, you know, for being cable brakes, they're actually pretty good. They're not bad. Over time, you know, you're gonna have to adjust them and everything like you normally would with cable brakes. Hydraulics would be ideal, but you know, cable brakes on this, it's not the most expensive bike either. I think for the price that it's at, like $899, you know, it would be nice to see hydraulic brakes, I'm not gonna lie to you. But this frame, I think, is where they spent a lot of money in engineering, because it is a really cool looking and interesting design on the frame. Suspension definitely helps out in the front and rear on here. We'll hit this big bump. We bottomed that front suspension out, man. Oh my god. The back actually felt okay, but that front suspension got bottomed out. All right, let's take this thing off-road over here. Do a little bit of a hill test too. Definitely ridden way worse bikes off-road than this one. I wasn't really expecting this to be very good off-road or very comfortable, but it's just, you know, we're going about 20 miles an hour. It's eating this stuff up.